Welcome to the first of our gaming show. It's going to be a new format that we're going to be doing where we're going to be taking the biggest news of the day and we're going to be compiling it into a video that I hope to keep under 10 minutes. We're going to try. We're going to try. Since this is our first episode, we're going to really try to keep it under 10 minutes. But of course, in the news today, and the people that we're going to be focusing on for the duration of this video is Sony. We got a lot to talk about in regards to Sony because Sony dropped some interesting news. Some of it's funny, some of it's good, some of it's interesting, and I think some of it's also going to lose them a little bit of money. So let's talk about the funny first. Let's get the funny out of the way. PlayStation issues refunds for Suicide Squad game. That is correct. We are what? A month removed? A few weeks removed. We're close to a month removed from the Suicide Squad game being released. And it has technical issues. It had technical issues from the beginning with matchmaking problems, server issues, which is insane to me because this game did not get the server load that Helldivers 2 did. There were even jokes going around a while back that, if anything, Helldivers or Sony should just go over to Rocksteady, take a bunch of their servers, and then transport them over to Arrowhead Studios to help them with the issue. But it seems as though PlayStation is refunding certain players who have had complaints against Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League since it's dropped, such as game breaking bugs that are killing progression, like I said, connection issues, um, lag. Just, I would even say that there are people in there because you know that there are people that once you hear about the fact that there are refunds, you kind of bandwagon on the back of that by simply not enjoying the game in any way, shape, or form. Maybe you purchased it for $70, maybe you purchased it for 100, and you hear that Sony is giving you refunds for technical issues. You jump right on top of that and like, yeah, I suffer from those technical issues as well, even though you probably did not suffer from those technical issues. But it's not a good look. This is really not good. I said it before when I was playing through the game, and I said it again. They should not have delayed season one to be 1 month after the game's launch. Season one and the Joker should have come with the game at launch. The fact that we have to wait an entire month, and in between that month, so many more tantalizing games have essentially come out that we want to go and play and we want to go and have fun with. It is absolutely insane. I would even say it's asinine that anybody over at Rocksteady would sit down and go, "Yeah, no, this is a fantastic idea. It's a great idea." But like I said, this game turned people off from the beginning. Not being a Batman game was the first check mark. Being a co-op looter shooter game was the second check mark that turned a lot of people off. The story mode for people that played through who were watching on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube, the leaks in regards to the story, that was another thing that turned a lot of people off. Like, you have to look at a game, and I keep harping on it, but because it did a fantastic job. You have to look at a game like Helldivers that comes out of nowhere, that you essentially create the story, playing with your friends, having fun in a live service game that doesn't shove a battle pass or cosmetics down your throat or purchasing some type of in-game currency. This Suicide Squad did everything in the complete opposite of that. It had the battle pass, it had the cosmetic store. There really weren't a lot of ways to earn really cool and unique outfits in the game. Most of them were pretty generic or were pieces of the basic sets that you got as you played through the game. That's boring. There wasn't any exploration. Once you beat the story, there wasn't anything else for you to essentially go off and do. I do not see this game recovering. Like I said, I see it probably making it to season two, and then the game just essentially dies and it just doesn't recover in any way, shape, or form. And by next year, they're going to be talking about them shutting off the servers. Um, I don't even know if this game was made a profit, to be quite honest, because it never broke, I think, over 15,000 on Steam. And then usually Steam is usually a really good guide for how well it did on consoles as well, since And here's the reason why. We live in a more PC-centric society. There are people that own PlayStations, there are people that own Xboxes, sure, but a lot of people have been shifting over to PC gaming over the last few years, which means that if Steam is gigantic, there's 25 million people online at any point in time playing games on Steam. And if out of those 25 million people, only 15,000 peaked played your game, then about 2 weeks after launch, 3,000 play your game, and then a week after that, it's only at around 300. Your game didn't do good. So it's really a question of whether or not Suicide Squad did good enough to earn its place, to earn its keep, to deserve to have a season 1, a season 2, a season 3, a season 4, and probably a second game. I don't think it did, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they decide to stick to it. That'll be some dedication, but there's already whispers of the fact that they're moving back towards making another Batman Arkham game or another game in the Arkham vein. Time will tell. Time will tell whether or not they recover from this debacle. But moving forward to the main attraction, the main part of the meal. Sony. Sony has decided to make a few interesting moves. Let's talk about the first one. Super fungible tokens. For those of you who don't know what those are NFTs. Not Dogecoins or anything along those lines, but NFTs inside the game, or let's just drop NFTs and just call them tokens inside of a game that you can essentially use in any game that is on the Sony platform. So let's use Destiny as an example. Destiny uses silver, right? If you were to log into Destiny and you spent $30 worth of silver and you ended up having about, let's say, $10 worth of silver left over, that silver essentially just sits there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's not used for anything until you want to purchase something else, and you either buy more silver or you see whether or not it essentially equals out to a roughly around the same. What Sony is essentially suggesting is that if you were to go play Ratchet and Clank, and you bought these tokens in Ratchet and Clank. Let's say you bought $30 worth, but you only used $10 worth of tokens. You could take that $20 worth of tokens and go purchase something in God of War. It could be DLC for God of War. It could be a cosmetic in God of War. Or you could go take it and you could purchase it in something for Last of Us. If Last of Us comes out with a multiplayer mode and you want to buy clothes for your character, or you want to buy skins for your character or something along those lines, or hell, if you want to take those coins and use them in Helldivers, since Helldivers is technically a Sony first party game, you could take those coins that you initially purchased in Ratchet and Clank and you could purchase cosmetics and battle passes in Helldivers. That's essentially what Sony is suggesting. Transferable tokens that work across all of the games. I think that's a fantastic idea. I really fucking despise these different companies having these different fucking coins or currency or some type of shit, and once you purchase them, if you don't use them, they just go to waste. They're just taking up digital space somewhere on a fucking server, and you can't use the money that you put into this thing to go purchase something else. That gives Sony a lot more control over the purse, because you're taking the ability to purchase those tokens away from the studio and you're putting them in the hands of Sony themselves. It's going to be interesting to see. The first party studios really don't have a choice because they're owned by Sony. But the ones who are probably going to revolt at this idea are definitely going to be the third party studios who implement token systems for their battle passes or some type of currency, cash currency inside their game in order to purchase some type of bullshit over here on the side. They're going to have an absolute fucking fit. I can definitely see Epic saying hell fucking no and saying that Fortnite is completely separate from all your other shit. If you buy tokens in Fortnite, they're only for Fortnite. They're not transferable magical bullshit. However, I can also see Epic applying this to their first party games as well, allowing people to move things back and forth between their different games. Only time will tell how developers will basically look and accept this idea. Like I said, Sony's working on a lot of interesting ideas in general. Moving on to the second one, which is the AI game streams. Um, we've seen this before. It's interesting to see Sony patent this because we've essentially seen a variation of this before, which is we've seen streams where it was the Pokemon streams on Twitch a while back where the community could input commands into the chat and then the character would react on the screen or move in a certain direction or do a certain thing or go grab a certain thing or go purchase something. um it's interesting to see that they're doing this with the addition of AI specifically designed for this, which is it's going to be an AI basically controlling the game. Now, I've seen, if you've been on TikTok recently, a while back, there were AI TikTok streams where, as the AI was playing the game, every single time it failed, it would register that fail and then it would try something slightly different to try and get through the level. Sometimes they'd be stuck in like a really bad loop because it would decide that, you know, a late jump is better than a super early jump, or stopping and positioning is better than that because it's trying to get through as fast as possible. But it's going to be interesting to see where exactly we go with this because I can't see, it's a niche being able to sit down and watch a stream and tell the character what to do, especially if you decide to troll and you go in and you decide to fuck it up. But I can't see this in some way, shape, or form overtaking regular streamers who load up the game, sit down, play, have an absolute fucking blast, run through, have fun. Like I said, this is interesting. It's super fucking interesting, but I don't see it replacing genuine streaming. It could be something that's just like off on the side, maybe an option available for people that are partners with Sony, but where exactly this patent decides to go is interesting in and of itself. But we'll see. They have like a lot of paperwork up there, or should I say they have like a lot of schematics for how the system is supposed to work, like between speech recognition, text recognition, facial gestures recognition, feedback from audio, video, text, spectator devices, microphones. But it's going to be fucking wild. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're able to pull it off. It might just be something that they try out to see if it works, and then they throw away because it doesn't. The final Sony story is Sony appears to be working on augmented reality glasses for the PlayStation 5. You've been here before. Remember PlayStation VR? The $500 headset that you created and you made no games for and then you quietly abandoned? I don't know. I don't know if I guess you want to make sure that you keep up with all of your competitors and what they're making. Like for instance, there are a lot of companies out there making augmented reality glasses. You can go on fucking Amazon. You can probably get one for like $200. That some people say is like really really solid, and other people saying fucking sucks. So of course Sony would try to put that out there as well because you can throw your AR games on there, and then you can add certain type of elements like having PlayStation glasses on and being able to pull up a UI and access different features inside the UI. That's cool. But at the exact same time, are you willing to sit down and put work into creating an actual interface for this thing, into creating actual apps and actual games, and having your first party studios support this extra thing? If you are, great. If you're not, stop wasting money on stupid shit. That's it. That's basically it. That's the thread. If you're willing to commit to this thing, if you're willing to create an entire system behind it, fucking perfect. If you're not, stop wasting money on stupid shit. How about instead of giving me a fucking augmented reality glasses, you give me another PSP? Where's that at? Where's that at? Give me another PSP. Because the PSP, in my opinion, was the thing that paved the way for the Switch. Because Nintendo would have kept on making fucking handhelds, 2D handheld games for the longest time if it wasn't for the fact that the PSP and the PlayStation Vita came out and were like, hey, we can be fucking powerhouses. And Nintendo was like, Interesting. So you say there is money to be made in this avenue. And now the Switch is fucking dominating. It would be great to have another PlayStation Portable system that operates somewhere between the Switch and the Steam Deck, where I can just, if I don't want to play it on the PlayStation, I can just pick it up and go play it when I'm on the toilet. And when I come back and I sit down, I just flick it and it goes right back to the PlayStation. I pick up the controller and I continue with what I'm doing. But hey, if you're willing to throw money into this, please also throw money into supporting studios that are going to be designing things for this. It has a lot of potential, but I feel as though um Sony just sells the hardware, and then if it doesn't hit a certain amount, they're like, why would I make something for that? Why would I already have people making things for this? But yeah, like I said, Sony was going to be the ones that were dominating the news today. This is a new format that we're doing. We're going to be taking anywhere from the top 3 to top 5 stories of the day and essentially just talking about them. But let me know what you guys think about Sony's patents and their monopolies and their NFTs and their augmented reality glasses, and the hilarity of the fact that Suicide Squad Killer Justice League is being refunded this late in the game. Let me know what you think. Comment down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.